all. It should be, if somebody has it on their phone. But start all is all we have to touch. That's it. And that's why it says start. It changed to starting.
Where does it say where it started? Okay,
So,
let's do this.
Yep, it's the B file, 6,000. But the only thing I want to change.
the mini pearls out.
And I want to order the,
And all we start is from the mini pearl, or the pearl mini, and that's what this is.
there's a
And you logged in?
piece that needs to be ordered with it. Because it's not the Western.
So this part's already done about setting them up.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit stop.
Yeah, I may not went far enough.
Yeah, it's still saying.
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, yeah, the further.
But I want to,
Mr. Todd.
It just says press start plus start. Okay, here we go.
There.
next page over. I'm here. Throw this right here on it. Because this is
And
well, they're not spec'd out.
because it just said if they need to go to pearl mini, well, that was after executive session, which we're not gonna turn on during
I have my Class A CDL.
You should be able to go back to that pearl mini.
So I ran.
Yeah, that's all. Layout 3, and this is 11, because we want the podium.
Okay, so why is this?
That's his personal.
I know, but I'm
Oh, yeah, for some reason, I think what they don't realize. Causing the throat harder and farther. We do not have. So I think that they understand.
Dusty?
I think they need to.
Yeah, I'm surprised how dusty it gets.
I think they'll be amazed how.
I leave it set open on my desk at home a lot. I know.
Flex on.
1 minute, 29 seconds, so
Get in the
that's right.
habit of
Okay,
closing
so we
it.
should be good.
All right, okay, so we're going back over here.
Some of the food cut.
Thank you, Colleen.
Well, thank you.
Really good at this.
See, I told you, you figured it out.
And that didn't come in time to get the agenda.
I see that, yeah.
We're going next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Unless it comes sooner than that.
Okay. I heard that, somebody said they heard that it got moved up, because I originally thought March, right?
Yeah, March 4th, I think. That's just
Yeah. So that will be on, you said next Thursday? 24th.
Okay, call this meeting to order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Fry,
Present.
Keating. Present. Snelling, Bikeman,
Present.
Garacki,
Present.
Price,
Here.
Barons,
Here.
Trump.
Here.
7. Quorum.
Okay. First up, we have the approval of minutes of the regular meeting on January 24th, 2022.
Move to approve minutes of regular meetings, January 24th, 2022.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up, we have public comment. Is anybody here for public comment? Okay, on the business and discussion items. First up, we have the proposal for City of Marysville airport from inline.
And that is only in your agendas. What that is the building at the airport is, water runs in underneath the doors, and Jason had put in new stools, but the floor is old, that old asphalt tile. And so some of them are coming up, and so we asked we asked several companies, but only one would come and to do the guttering. So we need to put guttering on the building to get the water to go away, so the water doesn't run in underneath the doors. So while they're up there, the doors everything just needs to be painted. And we have got in contact with the guy who does epoxy floors, the one who did the one in the ag building and whatever. And that he had suggested, when he went in, he said, you should paint the walls and stuff first if you can afford to do that. And we have the CARES money from the COVID stuff that we did get, $20,000 twice, that's supposed to be used for the use in the airport, for everyday things. So we would,
Inline's gonna do all the painting and the gutter work, and then.
and paint the doors and put new seals on the doors.
And
and
then
then
someone else is gonna come in and do.
come
the
in
floor.
and do the epoxy floor.
So is the epoxy floor and everything included on this? or
No, this is
strictly
this
inline?
is the painting, the guttering, to divert the water away.
Do you have a ballpark on what they're gonna do for the epoxy floors?
I
'Cause
think
know
it's
that can be very
about 3.
expensive.
No, it's 3 or less, I can't remember, because he was gonna do our bathrooms at City Hall for that too. About that amount. Yeah, they were underneath even what Austin could, it was very reasonable. That would include taking the tile off the floor and putting, the epoxy down.
Assuming he doesn't find anything under the tile that we don't know about.
Well,
I know how it
yeah,
works when you
they'll
pull
have to,
things out.
make the floor even if there's a hole.
But
Yeah, you're
leveling,
right.
yeah.
Leveling, but he has come, he is well aware of what it is. He's been here. Because like I said, he's doing the ag shop, so.
Move to approve the proposal from inline.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up, we have lease purchase agreement for the sewer truck.
Move to approve the lease purchase on the sewer truck with First Commerce Bank.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up, we have North 11th Road to North Street Mill and Overlay quote from Hall Brothers.
Cindy, do we need to do all these other ones in there, or does that cover it all? The certificate of acceptance and,
That covers it all,
Okay.
because you guys had approved it last time,
Okay.
but we just couldn't get the actual
Just make it-
amateurization, yes, we
just
could.
making sure.
Yes, thank you, yes.
Yeah, and we've got 2 quotes in there. I mean, one is for 11th Road to North Street, and then we've got another quote from North Street to Jayhawk on 16th.
The only problem I have is I know we talked about before we did 11th Road going north about getting those water line connections in there. So I don't want us to be trying to put water connections in and they're in a hurry to get this project done.
Do we have a date? I didn't see it. It didn't tell us the date, did it?
Pricing good for 30 days, it said.
No, I mean,
When they would do
execution.
it.
Yeah.
Execution.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in there. And on that, there's no painting in this.
Yeah.
That street's painted,
Yes.
11th Road.
or 11th Road is.
It has, isn't it thermal?
Yeah, that's not included in this bid either. I don't know if they do it, they hire it out, I don't know.
I bet they sub it.
Yeah, they don't
But still, it should have been included in a bid.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Because I know that,
Want to hold off of this and
I
come
think we
back
need
with
to
it?
hold, I think we need to hold
You
off
could,
on it.
till next meeting,
Yeah.
and get the numbers for
Get the numbers.
Okay.
clean that stuff on
Because you
there.
want thermal paint, you want them.
I want thermal painted.
Okay.
And get more
And get a
clarity.
date,
Yeah.
a date. Okay.
I guess at the same time, where's he at?
He's out in the corner.
He's hiding.
Chairs are uncomfortable.
If we could have an idea of, you know, what kind of work you need to do there before we do anything?
Well, just the main thing that would affect the road would be boring under the road and tying into the main, which is out in the road. I don't know, it's right by the curb, by the Catholic church, is where it's coming mostly.
You mean the Catholic cemetery?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay. I thought that's what you meant.
Well, no, we're doing stuff all over. Yes, that's what I meant. There's,
So
I think there's like, I think 6 of them north of Juniper, 6 or 7, and then there's 5 or 6 south of Juniper.
Are the ones south of Juniper, will those interfere, Kent?
Well, I think that it goes into the dirt back there. I mean, you got those fire hydrants and stuff
Right.
in there, but I'm not real sure, because I was pretty new as a supervisor when that got put in. and
Right,
I wasn't involved in it much, so.
okay.
I think it'd be good to have some input from Kent.
Yeah.
At next meeting of what his timeline would be before we commit to
I have to
anything.
get somebody to bore it, because we don't have a bore machine, obviously, so I wanna get somebody to put like 2-inch poly pipe underneath there just to use as a sleeve, that we can stuff the 1-inch through, and then we can tap the mains, and then it's just all a matter of backfilling properly and that after that.
Okay.
So it don't sell too much, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right, so council's in kind of agreement that we'll wait
Yeah.
until next meeting with more information?
Yeah.
Okay.
Table it
them
till next meeting.
Right. Next up, we have the city hall server.
What about the quote on the 16th? They're separate.
Oh, that's right.
16th.
Do you want to act on that one, or you want to hold off on that one till next week too?
That's a pretty straightforward project.
Yeah.
It's edge mill and overlay, so move to approve Hall Brothers for the 16th Street, north of Jayhawk Mill and overlay.
Okay. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Please say no.
Okay.
Now we have the city hall server.
I mean, I don't know, we brought this back because we did some more research on it. The top number, every time we ask for bids, they're almost always higher from Networks Plus. They have, the stuff that's in there for their backups and stuff cost us $195 a month on Networks Computer Solutions. They sell us the equipment, and it costs us $50 a month, so we can buy in 1 year what it's gonna cost us $750 every single year just to use the backup system that Networks Plus does. So to us, that doesn't seem to make much sense. In City Hall, we've already been using the QNIAS, and it works, so we do have a double backup already. So I know I called him the other day, I needed computers for the fire station. We had a quote that was twice as high as what he said, yeah, I can get you this, and I can get it right away. So,
So
I
we're
know-
back to comparing apples to apples now on these?
yes, we are.
Okay,
Yes, we
because
are.
I know last time there was a discrepancy on.
There is, and now they are exactly the same. The reason he did that way is because they were in contact with our software company, because they've done our stuff before, and our software doesn't support 2022 yet. But they only do software on servers every 3 or so years. And so we can buy it bigger, go down, and then when it can go up, we can go up. So that's why we did go back to get that bid. So it is apples to apples, that is correct. Yeah, so that's what I know.
And I guess my theory is, yes, the network computer solutions is a little bit more than Networks Plus, but they've already got a relationship with them, they know the server, they know the stuff that's on this server, and should be able to make everything flow over a lot easier. So that's just my thoughts. I make a motion to accept the bid for network computer solutions for, is it the 14?
It's the 15.
$15,742.22 for City Hall.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
I will tell you that Austin asked if we could use the same both places. We do not at the present time, and he thought it would be much cleaner if we do.
Yep.
I mean, Network Computer Solutions also hosts our pool Wi-Fi for free. I mean, they do some of that as well, but Austin just thought it would be easier if we kept them the same company across the board. So that's up to you. You can choose whatever you want to do, but that was his recommendation.
I make a motion to accept the network computer solutions for $14,306.25 for the police department server.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion about that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay, 6-1. Next up, we have the ice machine for the fire station.
That's Parker's baby.
Waiting for a question.
Okay.
Well, my only thinking on it, and, I mean, the fire station is gonna get an ice machine. I mean, obviously, whether we move this one or we buy them a new one. But in my mind, I don't know if we have enough need for just City Hall to justify a $6,000 ice machine for, one meeting a week, where you need a lot of ice. I think we can maybe come up with a smaller solution, maybe an under-counter ice maker or something, and then move this ice machine. In my understanding, it's 10 years or around 10 years old, somewhere around there. And move this up to the new fire station. It's not as difficult as you think to move an ice machine. I mean, it's a little more than a fridge, but it's not.
Is it functioning
not bad.
properly, Park?
I think so.
Yeah, it's been well taken care of.
Yeah.
What's it produce per day, or? The bottom of
I
it
don't know,
was
it's-
350 pounds.
Because we use ice out of it every single
No, I
day,
think
so
that
it does make good ice.
And that one's water cooled, correct?
Yeah.
I think, not air cooled.
Yeah, this machine you're looking at is exactly what's sitting over there.
Okay.
The only thing different about this one is.
This one's a water cooled too, this quote? Oh, it's
Yes.
not air cooled?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing different is they've done some more research, and instead of having to run 2 reverse osmosis to keep up with the ice machine,
Yeah,
you can save some money by getting one that has a 18-gallon tank,
okay.
and it will keep up with the ice machine. It'll do just fine, because it'll do 100 gallons a day. And the only time you're gonna have big issues is when it first starts. You know, I've gotta refill it, but
Yeah,
it's, not gonna lie to you. I want the new one, because, well, I have different reasonings.
okay.
Because then you'll have 2 ice machines sitting on backup generators that you do not have in this town.
Well, and
That's true.
they're always looking for ice for functions. Couldn't we use that ice out of the ice machine?
For
A
functions?
lot of them do.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
like Mother's Day barbecue or something that this,
I think Kramer oil is pretty awesome.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
does
think
a lot.
Kramer
No,
oil
there's no
just
doubt.
covers us on a lot of things.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I mean,
Not
the
gonna
thing
slide.
about using an ice machine like that for functions is unless you got a freezer so you can bag it and store it and stockpile ice, you're only gonna get whatever's in that holding bin.
Is the newer machine more efficient? I mean, as far as just running?
I have no
I would
idea.
say
Petrol
not
basis.
much. I
I
don't know as they've made much improvement. Ice machines haven't changed much for quite a while.
The- This is, from what they remember buying it 10 years ago, the difference is $725.
That's all. It's
Yeah,
actually not that
It's
much.
not bad, honestly,
No, I
compared to
mean,
what
it-
other things are.
But there's none of them, there's no tops available. So if you buy it, he calls tomorrow morning and orders it and they start making it.
Made to
Same
order.
thing,
You don't
same
know when
thing
you're
with the
gonna get it.
reverse osmosis. They're not
not gonna get it.
as available as everybody thinks. Maybe 4 weeks before it's here, maybe here tomorrow. I don't know.
I don't know, I'm inclined to agree with Jason that it's kind of a
Well,
gravy
we've-
expense. I mean, a lot of people do think we've not cut corners where we've had opportunities, and this is a pretty easy corner to cut.
Okay.
We do, and keep in mind, we do have an ice machine at the street shop also that they use. I mean, so we've got two, and you're talking having 3 ice machines for, if you buy another one.
I agree
They
with
do
Todd.
use,
I
they
agree with
use
Todd.
mice, yeah.
And I mean, truly, an ice machine is made to consume the ice what it produces in a day's time. And so, I agree with Todd.
That's fine.
So, no action.
So then I guess
Who
the
do you
next
wanna
question
find to
is
move
then,
Who do you wanna find to move it?
well, I would assume Lados was gonna install it.
I guess we'll have to ask them, see if they wanna move one.
Now, it might be a thing that, I don't know how old that reverse osmosis is, but it might be a thing that we wanna purchase the better, larger reverse
It is
osmosis.
newer than the ice machine,
Is
that
it?
reverse
Okay.
osmosis.
The newest one's 5 years.
Well, but is it,
Yeah.
the newest one's 5 years old?
Yeah.
You know, for reverse osmosis, that's, yeah,
We've tested them.
okay.
You water hammer something that has tendency to find a weak spot in the system.
Yeah, it can.
It's the reason truck fill lines are no longer on little water lines in the new one.
Okay. So I guess we'll have somebody get a estimate or quote of some
Right,
kind of
and,
new
and
gas
we
machine.
can, did you get a number for the reverse osmosis, the bigger one? Do you know what that number would be?
I mean, a price
A
number?
price number, yes.
He told me 480.58.
Okay, so even if we would have to do that, that's well within our, that wouldn't be horrible just to put a new
No.
reverse osmosis on it. To get just one, then you wouldn't have to be moving two.
And you don't have to mount two of them.
Right, so really that probably
You're not
would
buying
be
4
efficient
filters and
to
all
do that part. I mean, if you wanna do that part, and then, I mean, that would make some sense.
Okay.
All right, so we'll look into that, okay?
Okay, next up, the fire station approval. Now, does Daniel do you have some information for us, Daniel?
Yes, I do.
I see you had a couple numbers here for,
I did print that out and
Thank
put it
you.
around the table.
I appreciate that, because I walked out of my office without grabbing my copies. so.
Okay.
No, I have mine,
You
I
have yours,
printed
okay.
early, but, won't take much of your time, but, Austin had sent an email to our architect concerning, the fire station project and the possibility of, some cost participation through BG for certain items, in specific to certain items of the change orders that were involved in the project. One was the water filler on the fountain that was installed, wasn't originally included in the bid documentation, and so that was part of a just under $1,700 change order. And then the fire truck fill lines, and that was a total change order of just over $21,000. And so, kind of as I have in this memo, you know, the fire station is a custom project, but sometimes miscommunications occur. And we realized that that was the case here and specific to those two different components. And so what we kind of look at with something like this is, you know, we feel BG corporately, myself, it's pretty important, the relationship that we have with Marysville. And so what we wanted to look at is what were the additional costs that were really associated with that. I think we can understand, you know, if the stuff would have been bid at that time, it would have been cheaper, but there would have been funds expended for that. And so what we've tried to do is break down those two specifically and try to identify, and these are recommendations to you guys, but we have gone through and tried to look at certain items. There are some guesstimates, you know, percent of the labor, for instance. You know, we're saying we pick up 25% of the labor on the fill lines. We pick up 100% on the water bottle filler. You know, they already had that ready. Anything that they came back and did, it was all extra. I mean, that one was pretty easy in my mind anyway. So when we break those two down and we can go through the numbers, you guys can look at them or question. We looked at the combination cost difference between what it would have been, you know, a year prior to when they actually got that was about $250 difference. On that one, we also included the markup that they would have on those materials of 13%. And then, like I said, handled 100% of the additional labor for that, so that would be an amount of $683. And then on the second page, we broke down the fire truck fill lines, the copper, and obviously we all understand that pipe prices are really kind of crazy. So what we did is we took those materials and we increased, or basically said you paid, you know, an overage on that. So the difference would be just under $3,700 in materials. Okay, then the insulation and the other components that were involved in that, they didn't jump as much, but we'd look at 18% on that for those costs. And just so you know, we look at the consumer price index, you know, which isn't, it's not a fail-safe by any means, but it does kind of, it is a background number, I guess, to look at. And then the labor of 6,800, you know, obviously there was extra work that they had to come in and do, you know, whether they had to rent a scissor lift for another day or whatever it was. It could have been done more efficiently, regardless. There's no doubt. So those are kind of, I guess, our proposals to address that. So the total would be $6,748 that we would be happy to participate in with the city on that. And I think we try to lay things out here. I want you to understand we're not trying to be nitpicky, but we're trying to show, you know, here's the components. You guys got a value, but you paid too much for it, and we can understand that. And so that's, I guess, our proposal this evening. And if you guys want to act on that, that's fine. If you want to think about it and talk it over, ask me questions or anything like that, and be ready for that.
Okay.
Okay, I got
What are
questions.
council's thoughts?
Yes, sir.
How did we miss the fill lines? From beginning of the project through the project, how is that possible?
I did ask our MEP and our architect. We have done the last 5 that we've done, only one of them have fill lines. So it's not an automatic.
No,
I was not involved in the communications.
And I agree, it's not an automatic, but I also agreed that everybody up here was adamant that there'll be fill lines in that station. So where's the disconnect? Is it us? Is it you guys? Is it the architect? That's my question.
The question, that's a good question. Austin and I have talked about that, and I actually asked him to have the contractor contact me directly, in that I can have those discussions. I cannot tell you where that disconnect was, but I can tell you, as everyone here knows, it was there. And for me, and working with the city of Marysville, I never want that to happen again. And, you know, corporately in our architecture department, I want to identify what the situation was. And my initial on that was, this is my initial, he went back into his very beginning notes and did see that he had a note jot down and he just never processed it. And, you know, things happen sometimes, and this was definitely one of them, and it is very identifiable.
Hey, at least I got an answer. No, I'm serious.
Okay. What's council's thoughts on the amounts?
I don't think there's
Seems
much
fair.
more we're gonna be able to do with it.
Well, yeah, what's the alternative?
The alternative is to say, I think it's more. I mean, I guess I would respectfully request an understanding of where you think those numbers are, or if you don't agree with our methodology, if there's something else that you would look at. This methodology, in a lot of ways, we use similarly to review change orders when they come in for different reasons. You know, what are some of those differences, both as a additional cost request and as a deduct side. We work with it similar ways, so.
I'll be honest, I have other things, but they're not gonna change this amount of money.
Well, I'd
On the
be
fire
interested in talking with you sometime on those other
Yeah,
things.
but you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna change this, in my opinion, it's, as I would call them, design differences.
And I think the methodology is fine. I mean, I don't dither with that. It's justified.
I think it is too, Todd.
This at least gets it to where if it would have been in the original bid like it was supposed to, that our cost is what it would have been had it
Right.
been
Yeah.
at that time.
That's as close as, that's
Yeah,
what we're trying
so-
to do. I mean.
Which seems fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, moved to accept the financial contribution of $6,748.
I guess my next question would be, how would you, as a city, prefer that? I would ask you, I would make a recommendation if we could, but that may not be what you want, is we would like to do service in kind, but that may not work.
How about we just take it off the bill?
Well,
Common numbers person,
I did,
sorry.
and that is an important thing. Right now, from my understanding, there's only $500 left on our billing. Okay, so first thing I want to recommend is you have us bill that and you pay it because you'll get your percentage of CDBG for it. Do
And I
not
think
waive that number.
We have paid you not out of CBDG funds all the way. Cause we're still holding your
Correct.
last invoice.
But
We
that
have-
is your
we haven't paid it.
matching, that is your matching to that.
Correct.
Okay, so if you're getting 30% and you use that as matching, you'll get 30% on the CBG. So that is important. I don't know how much you haven't paid, and that's a component. I mean, ultimately, we would love to do another project with you and we'll give you credit. Okay, we'll send you a bill, we'll say it's written off. We'll do that. And if there wasn't CDBG involved, whatever amount that you were withholding in our billing, we would say that. But I want you to get that 20 or 30 or 40% CDBG for that. And if that won't work, and you don't have to decide this tonight in my case, we'll write you a check.
We need to think about it.
Yeah.
We gotta see what we don't have paid yet,
Yep.
because we held some invoices.
We have a motion on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a second. We only,
I second.
oh, you did, okay.
No, now I did.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, we don't have a second yet,
I
Todd.
I wanna get the motion up.
Okay, sorry. Okay, now, I do have a Kevin and a Todd.
Okay. Any further discussion about the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
Okay,
Her and Austin will get back with you.
that's fine. Whatever works, and,
Okay,
I mean, we're
we'll
open
figure it
to
out. Okay,
whatever works best for you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we still have to have the approval of the station so that I can pay inline. Because their stuff is done.
Move to approve certificate of project completion for BG Consultants.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Okay. Next up, we have the traffic signal upgrade quotes.
Is there a grant for this upgrade?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any KDOT money available for it.
No. But it will stay when we get ready to do that corner. What we're doing now still works. So in other words, you know, you're not like putting a pole in the ground, there are cameras up above. It still works. It wasn't like you used to have to get on the pad and,
It's future-proof.
it is future-proof. That is correct. It is future-proof.
Which option is future?
Both.
Both.
One of them is just one line. Well, the first one just puts, yeah, you're right. Probably the first one isn't.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
it just
it's
puts new guts
timer,
in.
Yeah, it just puts new controllers on.
Right, and the second one is the whole shamoli, including 8th Street.
Which will help the flow of traffic
Oh, yeah.
immensely through there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, well,
especially in the morning, coming up through there and there isn't anybody coming from the south, it'll trip it, so.
yeah, because I guess that's the question, is whether you want to go with the cameras or whether you want to go with the old technology, and whether you want to do both or just do one,
We wanna do both of them.
both.
And I'd
Okay.
say with the cameras, with the new technology,
Yep.
there's no sense in going backwards or staying.
I mean, those up at 20th Street were so slick.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the good. They are nice.
Okay, well, somebody
I
want to
know
make a
it's a lot of
motion?
money, but
Yeah.
I move we do a total of option 2 for $129,430 for 8th Street and 10th Street stoplights with the new boxes and the
Cameras.
cameras.
Where money coming from where?
Have to be sales tax.
Sales tax,
Tax.
someplace can
Yeah,
come,
I figure.
unless there's any in street and highway.
Well, the street and highway we'll be using for
yeah.
that other,
In the, traffic signal?
we didn't budget it in the traffic signal, so it's gonna have to come out of sales tax.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
What's the major problem we're having?
The equipment that is in the intersection at 7736 is so old that nobody's left around that even knows
It's
how
supposed
basically
to
to work
flash,
on
we
it.
can't make it flash, the minute lightning happens, if we have to shut it off because it's a storm, it's ice, there's no hope, that turn signal's craziness.
It's obsolete,
It has
basically.
just been very difficult to deal with, especially because it's that hill and the semis come from all the directions and it's just, and the buses, it's such a busy corner because of
Parts are
this.
not readily available. for
We can't get them at
electronics.
all, they can't,
Yeah.
Understand that.
that.
Margie, what all do you know about that 10th and Center?
Try not to know anything about it, Parker, but I'm the one sitting up there.
It's just shot.
Well, I mean, it was here when I got here, and I've been here almost 30 years, so.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a pretty good answer right there. You only can run things for so long.
Especially technology.
I know it doesn't flash.
A lot of
I know
money.
they have a lot of
It'll-
problems in the middle of the night.
Well, we can get it to
It'll be
flash,
nice.
but
It won't.
one little blink, I mean, I mean, the other
Electric.
night, it blinked in my house for like a half a second, and that screwed up the lights.
Yeah.
Okay. The battery
storage.
backup in it is not one that you can just plug in.
Okay.
It's soldered into the system inside the deal.
Oh.
So it's not an easy fix, so, and it's shot, that part is, and
No, that's the answer I'm looking for right there. Guy that works on it says it's time to go.
Okay. We had a motion and a second, I believe.
Yes.
Why do,
Any-
why do we need a video vehicle detection system?
That's how it determines if someone's coming.
Yeah, this one will be like the intersection at 20th, so if there's not a lot of traffic and you pull up, it's gonna switch.
It'll stay with-
by.
It doesn't
Yeah.
cycle, it's theoretically smart. The one at
Yeah,
20th,
it's a smart
funny how
intersection.
quickly it'll change on 20th sometimes, and other times not, but that's because it's counting cars and it's figuring things out.
Prioritizing.
It's running an algorithm,
Absolutely.
so.
I like it. I think that one.
It'll be nice.
Works well.
$90,000 to be smart.
Yeah. I will say, as somebody that drives all day long up and down 36, I rarely have to wait. I mean, on 20th Street. I mean, when they put that in there, I thought, oh, just another light I gotta wait on, and that one is pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's gonna switch more at 77, 36, but it'll be a lot. I mean, there's a lot of times, especially 8th, there are a lot of times you just sit there and wait and wait and wait, and no cars are coming certain times of day.
Yeah.
This way it'll switch and you can get by. It'll be,
I'm hoping it
A lot.
helps the semi-traffic.
it should help.
think
the
it's-
buses.
It'll be good for pedestrian use too, I mean.
It
That-
will be.
that too.
With the push buttons on it
Yeah.
and all that, yeah.
There's a lot of traffic at 10,
Mhm.
Yeah.
foot traffic.
So, anyway, we had a motion second. Any further discussion?
Well, I'm just saying, if we don't get that item, then it'd be $72,160 instead of the 129.
Well, it'd be,
You don't get to
You-
get that second one without that video detection system.
yeah, it'd be 39.9 for the cheaper option, but it would just be timers, like basically what we've got now.
Each
only
one is
for-
28,635.
Right, you can't get the second option without putting that on there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it has to have that included. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Two?
One? Yep, two.
Two, I think.
Okay.
Yep, 5-2.
Okay.
Okay,
So I get the names.
right.
Okay, yep.
Next up, we have USD 364 tennis courts with Pam. Hello.
Good evening. Pam Dankerbring, USD 364 School Board President. I'm in Ward 4. Mr. Schrader is our current junior senior high principal and also our incoming superintendent. He's also in Ward 4. Mayor, council members, thank you for agreeing to visit with us this evening. As you have ascertained from our included material, we come this evening to discuss the deteriorated condition of the tennis courts and our desire to collaborate on construction of 8 new courts. That picture should be in your packet as well. Council has verbalized interest in the past in revitalizing half of the courts with the hopes that the school would have an opportunity to step up and assist with the remaining half. Discussion in the past has stymied with the district's inability to provide the funding necessary for that to move forward. As our letter states, I was approached several months ago by 2 respected community members, and they have offered a sizable donation to take the place of the school's contribution. Our contributors in our community are Chad and Joy Kramer. As you'll notice, the bid there was given to him. He would have loved to have been in attendance this evening, but had a prior commitment. As you read, there is certainly hope that we can get to a space where 8 courts are workable, but for this summer, we'd like to work together to finish 6 in the current location. Discuss the removal or the possible removal of the train, depot, sod house, and schoolhouse to make room for the additional 2 courts next summer, as provided in your picture. We realize an entire bidding process will need to happen, but the bid that you have before you gives us at least a start on price. It doesn't include, as you've noticed, I'm sure, demolition, surveying, site prep, or base prep, but initial investigation reveals these costs to be within a range that the Kramers are willing to provide funding for as well. With the huge success of our school's tennis program, our local pickleball group increasing in numbers, the number of folks on the courts playing every night during the summer, those lights are constantly on with people down there, and the increased usability, this is an investment our entire community could support. Working in collaboration to make our community, schools, businesses, and the place folks want to move, open businesses, visit, and shop, all of these pieces, including recreational opportunities, make our community a shining star. If we are able to get 8 courts, it also allows us the opportunity to host larger tennis tournaments, which will bring dollars into our community. So I guess Mr. Schrader and I are here to answer any questions that you might have, and knowing that we've got to go through the bidding process, all of those kinds of things, there is a little bit of a time piece in this.
I'm surprised you all haven't been down here earlier than this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There are plans and designs here at City Hall.
Right, and we knew that.
Geotechs, you didn't come and get any of that stuff.
Mr. Kramer's been the initiator of this, since a lot of it will be his money, and, yeah.
This is stuff that should have taken place already, Pam. I was here several years ago when we had a group come in to look at those tennis courts for pre-stressed concrete, just like we're doing now. They told us to be $1 million a court. And the gentleman also told me at that time, when he put it in, he said they'll only last in this area for a 7 to 10 year period, because we fall in the northern tier of the country up here, and with freezing, thawing, and the extreme summer heat, he says they will not hold up. So I'm just letting you know that 7 to 10 years, we're gonna be going through this again, unless something has changed dramatically in the concrete and the pre-stress.
Well, if my understanding from our conversation with him this morning, what he's hearing is if we go with concrete and the base and the fill and all of those pieces are done correctly, drainage, etc., the concrete should last for quite some time. It may need patched. Obviously, it's easier to patch concrete. And then you just come in with what's the material they're putting on top of the track.
Rubber coating on top of the track, yeah. But
So-
to answer your question, Kevin, which nobody was probably involved in that process, I mean, as a district, we have somebody come forward just recently and talk to us about this. So now that we have a player with us, we can come and have those conversations, and that's what we're doing. We didn't, a long time ago, 7, 8, 9 months ago, we didn't have that. So for us to even come and talk and take your time up would not have been worth it at the time. But now that he's graciously done this, we're here for him, and there's a large group that want that support, so we're asking if there's a possibility we can look into.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'd like to see them redone too, but.
Don't get me, I'm just saying the reason why
Yeah.
we wouldn't come to you to take up your time, and we
Right.
don't have those financial situation, but we do have a nice gift from a very well-respected person in the community, and we'd like to have those conversations if it's possible.
And I know he's had some preliminary conversations with Rob Peschel about, helping with that piece, so.
And with the demolition, he has a group and all those things, and to test the soil, because that is one of the things of the clay being pushed back and causing the problems underneath. They have a person coming in and he would cover that, the soil
We've done
test.
testing of the soil, I
Yeah,
believe,
we've
haven't
had
we? We've already
geotechnical
paid
done.
for that,
We should
yeah.
still be good, so that doesn't need to be spent
Right.
again.
We
That's
can
where
tell
my
you what
big
the problem is on the south
That's my
side.
And that's what we're
concern.
asking, and that's what we're here is, hopefully you guys can put together a group, and we can have some conversations, and we can work together and see what we can come up with.
The south side was just dirt dumped on soil and moved
Right.
around, and it wasn't packed, so we know what the problem is on the south side.
Beyond all that, I've talked to some people in the community, some involved in tennis and some not. And a lot of people seem surprised about 8 courts versus 6, as in, at one point a couple years ago, and I've been on here long enough, I think this is the 3rd time it's come around, we talked about downsizing back to 3 courts being not tenable because we needed 6. 6 was better, and I tend to agree with that. The utility of needing the 2 extra courts is something like I said, even what I would call tennis people have said, oh, that seems like just fluff, like that's the bridge too far. That's also, I mean, that complicates it to me is the idea of removing the other objects that are along there. Would I like to see the Beatty Depot, maybe something done with that? Would I like to see the locomotive over here? Sure, I can see that, but that's a lot of moving pieces that I'm not sure how we figure that out, and for
Right.
something that might be accessorial, I guess.
Right, and that's kind of why he'd like to, I mean, we need to keep that in the back of our minds, so the replacement of the 6 is paramount. You know, with his contribution, he'd like to see those done by fall tennis season, when school starts in August. So that's the timeliness of it.
Sure.
You know, that is a pretty large
Right, but like what you're
contribution,
saying, we
so.
understand, you know, I mean, is it too much? But those are conversations we can definitely have after the initial 6. Right.
Pam, do you know if the threshold for the larger tournaments would be 8 courts, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, that would allow us to have USTA summer tournaments. We
Okay.
also, with the use of the pickleball now, we're now sharing the courts.
Gotcha.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But that does, I mean, if you know that growing number, and that's just gonna keep growing if you know anything about pickleball and its growth, it's just up at the verge of going there. So that's just gonna get huge, along with tennis, so.
And for us to have regional
Right.
tennis, we have to
Right.
have 8. When
We
you,
can have 6, it works, we would host it
Oh, I'm
on
sorry.
6, it wouldn't be that we wouldn't, but we'll get more tournaments, we'll get more postseason tournaments, we'll get the USDA tournaments in the summer, and that is what has held us up for the big tournaments. The condition of the courts.
Yeah.
And
Is,
the number.
is there any way to shift what's currently there one way or the other
Uh-huh.
to get 8 in there without removing the train and the depot?
No.
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
Shift
right. And
unless you're.
You don't wanna get in that
You
fight with
you
moving
won't
the
be taking
garden.
those WPA poles down out of the garden, I guarantee you.
I
You
think-
will be stepping on toes you don't wanna step on.
well,
And I think Chad's wishes are kinda like Todd's, that, 8, 8 would be a nice thing if it could be possible, but really to get the 6 completed, and then we know there's issues, how are you gonna move the train? How are you gonna move any of the other things? That's a complicated issue, that's a price issue, that's, how do you find places to go? But we know that those 6 are gonna go where they're at, if we do it, and we do it right. And then if that works out well, then we continue the process to see how those other 2 come along.
We got some preliminaries on what it would cost to move the train, and they told us it should not be into 6 figures. Now, I would guess it's gonna be
No, they
closer.
did tell us it would be
thought-
upwards of 6
Okay,
figures.
upwards
I
of
was
6
told
figures.
about 6 figures,
Yeah,
So you're talking
Probably
100,000,
99,
and then you
999.
you gotta
Wait a
make
minute.
something to put them down.
Wait a minute. That's to pick up the train and move it. That's not everything they destroy in the process.
Well, and it's not a site, you're gonna have to have a site
You gotta have a
prepped
site
where
to
it's
take
gonna.
it
You
to.
understand the machines they're gonna pick it up with
Yeah.
weigh 180,000 pounds.
I don't know what
Lay
it's
down
do
on
our
that plate,
streets.
they lay an AR plate down and they park the machine on top.
100
We'll
degrees,
stop
turning on
traffic for 2
asphalt with a
days.
track machine.
Yeah, they said one day.
Concrete street in park.
They said it would be a day.
And I think the other 2, there was a drawing where they put the other 2 to the south. We have that drawing.
Further south than,
It's just that this
Oh, I don't-
one.
yeah,
spelled
then you're
separate.
getting into that
Well,
whole
then you gotta have
holding
more
area.
fill.
Right.
Yeah,
Plus you're gonna lose practice fields.
Right.
well, they don't,
Well, they won't use that
We don't
anymore.
have that anymore.
but that's a
But it's
holding
the-
area
it's the
when you get a
drainage
hard
ditch,
rain.
Which
Yeah.
was the reason we sort of went with
Holding
this
pond.
one, but,
Right, which is the drainage ditch,
Drainage
which
ditch, the holding
that's gonna be
Which
trying to
that
fill
fills
it.
up.
right. Well, and respecting all the conversation that you're having about where those other 2
Yeah.
would go, but again, that's a conversation maybe for later. While we would absolutely love that, we definitely are more interested in the replacement of the 6 in the space that they're in. So maybe that be,
And I guess my
Direct
question
correlation
is,
conversation.
what's your ask from the city, I guess? What kind of contribution,
half.
money,
He's putting up half.
Half of
and he
what?
So
would
he's
like-
paying his half,
half?
school's paying nothing, we're paying the other half.
His verbalization is his contribution is the school's half.
So if it comes in, say the geotechnical and all that's done, and the number comes in higher than this,
We have to have
is it the?
more
I was
conversations.
gonna say,
Right, yeah.
cause that's my suspicion, is that it
Right.
might get more
But we don't even know
complicated.
that if you all are not willing to continue with the conversation.
Well, I think my opinion, I think we can continue with the conversation and bring in the tools, i.e. the geotech report and things we've already spent money on, into that conversation. I mean, as far as who leads it, I mean, we had an ad hoc committee 10 years ago, I think.
Probably.
And that way, it's not one person, and then that just delays it. If you have people from both the school board and council on it, along with obviously community leaders who are, doing this legwork, that way the information travels more quickly, questions that need asked get asked.
And that's what Chad was kind of hoping that, and just, his thoughts were honestly that you guys have talked about having to do 3. So if you could take care of the 3 like you've discussed, and then we take care of the other 3, then it's a pretty good situation for all of us.
A
And
stumbling block to this.
who would
here's-
be,
Go.
who would be responsible for the cost of the additional 2 if that would happen? I mean, cause those are gonna be the more
That
expensive
we could-
ones
I
probably
think
to
that
get.
that's something he would like to talk to you guys about. I don't know that he's gonna, he's willing to talk about that right now, but the big thing for him was the 6. Because there's so many things that go into the other 2 that are unforeseen at the time, and the movement, like Parker's saying, you'd have to be diligent in the fact of what would be the, not just moving it, but what happens when the new site, and if any cost would accrue. And, I mean, we had situations where they were moving stuff on the track, and you do have damage and things, and so that's gonna be incurred by somebody. So those are conversations that we'd have to go forward and see what that exact thing would be for the extra 2, but the 6 is really what we're about right now.
I know a stumbling block the last time this came around was the continued maintenance aspect of it. I mean, ideally, these are gonna be lower maintenance than what we've been
And
putting
he's
in.
willing to have conversations about that also when we get into our group collaboration, because he has some ideas about that he's shared in different things, and so we can talk about those issues as we move forward.
It's just that given his desire to have it finished by August,
It's a tight timeline.
if we could just keep talking about it versus questions and then having to wait 2 weeks and
Right, which
questions.
I agree, and I think that's why an ad hoc committee that combines elements of the different interested parties will make that turn a little more quickly.
So this ad hoc committee's gonna go out and find out how much the total of this project is, right?
Well, I mean, that's the elephant in the room, right? What's the big dollar sign?
Well, the other elephant in the room is if they take the sales tax money away from the cities,
Where's it gonna come?
where are we gonna get the money to pay for it?
Well, they're
I don't think
talking like the local portion of that will still stay on the.
Wrong.
Oh, they're
I listened
not?
today.
Oh,
I
God,
know.
don't tell me that. That's
No.
terrible news.
No?
No.
Well, there's a huge
And they're
budget
gonna
for
take it
if
off
that
of,
happens.
they're gonna take it off of utilities too. That is combined with food now. And it's food in restaurants, food on groceries, and all commercial utilities. And so if they take all that away, and unless they specifically say that the locals can keep it on and make that a vote, it's coming off.
I don't think it'll end up off. I just.
Now, I don't like
It's
to
gonna
guess
throw every
because
town into a
there's
budget
no-
crisis
Okay.
if they don't.
No
Anyway, that's a
way.
different
Yeah,
subject.
different conversation. I
That's
think
a
the
hurdle
timeline,
that we can surmount when we get to it.
I'm gonna be honest, the timeline, not knowing the variables, is unreasonable.
Yeah.
Because right now, we're looking at 100,000, somebody's paying for half, or 700,000?
No, that is to do
That's
the
without
court.
the
Yeah,
base.
that's
not
just
to
Right,
do the rest of the
now,
work.
now we look at the dirt work,
The lights.
Tearing
the
out of the
base.
courts,
Turnout.
all that.
Right,
that's,
but
it's,
I think when you have the conversation, like when Pam said earlier, he's probably willing to incur most of that cost.
And we
right.
have people in the community that are willing to step up and do some of that stuff for nothing.
Which is what we did
There's-
last time and ended up with what we got.
Well, we gotta be careful of what we wish for.
You gotta,
but-
yeah, we gotta be
Right.
real careful.
Yeah, I do think the time.
But I do agree with Todd's suggestion of a ad hoc committee.
Yep.
I mean, at least explore it, but I think August is very, very
I think it'd be
aggressive.
nice for the ad hoc committee to do the research and then tell us that it's not feasible.
Right, well, and I mean,
Right.
anything's possible, you throw enough money at it too.
Yep.
And that's the thing too, is it worth having a year earlier if it costs 20% more? That's debatable, you
But,
know?
yeah, those are all good
we need to know.
conversations.
Right,
Even with the city's portion of this, there's a lot of other projects in the community that a lot of taxpayers would like to see done. And does this add value to those homeowners that are paying property taxes versus a improved tennis courts? I'd love to see it, but we also gotta be mindful of the other taxpayers in the community.
Sure.
That have opinions, so.
Right.
Okay.
But
Well-
in the end, I think the thing that I'd like us all to wrap our arms around is, it is not the school and the students and the parents who have children in the school live here as well. So it's not city council versus school versus a contributor.
Yeah.
This is a boat that we're all
Might be the
on.
best thing about this project is everybody working together.
Yeah, I mean,
And then decide
so-
that we can't afford to do it right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
So-
mean, we need to get to the point where we know enough about what we can and can't do.
Okay.
Well, last meeting, the idea, I think Todd threw out the idea of putting courts up at Lakeview and make the current court selection one big parking lot so you get the cars off the highway.
Okay.
I just threw that out there because it's.
I know you just
before.
threw
I'm
that
not
out there,
necessarily
but
advocating
the more,
for it.
you know, I've been thinking about that now for a while, and we always wanted the cars off the highway to begin with. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that, having it courts up at Lakeview?
Makes it a little harder for the school to use it,
Yeah.
but
Not as
Do you
convenient.
have room at the Lakeview for 6 courts?
I mean, that horse arena doesn't hardly get used
It's
at.
debatable. There's a couple of locations up there which could theoretically be useful. I know it'd be like softball and things. It would be a transportation impediment for the school. Obviously PE and things. It's nice to have them
restrooms and,
right there. Yeah,
but we
mean,
can talk about it. We
I
can
guess
talk
what would
about
that
it.
do to you? I mean, I guess, no, it's really not, I mean, then you would be looking at helping with tennis courts plus building a parking lot, so I don't know if that'd be a cost to you guys, for.
Well, you know, if I'm gonna get on a soapbox for a minute, I'm gonna say that to me, as a person with kids down there, 2 kids and a taxpayer and somebody who lives in the neighborhood and on city council, for all the hats, my biggest concern with the school is parking. And it has been for a long time, and I just feel like it's never been a big priority for the powers that be, long before you two were on the scene, so I'm not laying at your feet. But to me, that is something I think more taxpayers would see benefit in and get value out of in a continuing basis than even tennis courts. That's not a knock against tennis courts, but to me, that's where priority is. So my thought on that was, maybe it's 2 birds with 1 stone. Maybe you don't always wanna wrap everything into one project,
Yeah.
because sometimes you lose everyone doing that.
Right.
Sure.
But that was my thought. I'm not, like I said, not necessarily saying it's the solution, but it's something too where maybe the site prep would be less, maybe the costs would end up being less. Even if you didn't immediately go turn parking lot, maybe you downsize that into 3 courts, or maybe you get rid of it completely and put the green space. I don't know. But I want all options on the table if we're talking about spending $1 million.
Sure.
Okay. So the next question is, if council wants to kick this to an ad hoc, who do you want on that? Who do you want on that committee? I mean, do you want Sport and Rec to be our 3
part.
people, our part of that ad hoc, or
Well, who's on the
Parks
Sport and
and,
Rec, or Parks and Rec, it'd be
Parks and Rec.
Kyle,
Kyle,
Parker.
Parker, and Keith.
Yep.
It's up to you guys. That's your kind of committee, but if you think that you want some outside opinions outside that committee, that's fine. I was on it a long time ago. I'm not saying I should be on it now. We didn't get anything done then, did we?
I guess my thought is, do you have an interest, Kyle?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we don't want too many people on the committee. You get too many people.
Do you have an idea of how you'd like it composed? I mean, are you thinking 1
How
or 2
many
school
people?
board members, administrator?
We can't have more than 3,
You're right.
so
Like
our
us.
facilities committee is 3, so 2 or 3.
Okay.
Obviously, Mr. Schrader, because right now, that's within his wheelhouse, with it being junior, senior high tennis. It's also within his wheelhouse as the incoming superintendent, so him for sure. And then, and Mr. Kramer and his wife, Joy. And then, however, whoever you all
So
want to
there'd
bring.
be
to the
2
table.
there, you said 3 on your facility?
Well, and it wouldn't have to be all 3, but 2 or 3.
Okay,
So
that's
4
3,
from
4,
our
5,
group.
6, That'd be 9 if we put our 3 on.
Yeah, I don't think you want more than that.
No, that's a
You're gonna have
lot.
Congress.
That's already a lot.
I don't know that we'll have all 3 of the facilities. I don't know that, I mean, cause we
It
haven't
may
even
just be
discussed
me.
that with them. They might just say, just let Pam do it. Might just be Pam and I and Joy and, Chad from our part.
And we can just report back or something.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those things that it didn't really make sense within a time frame and scope and all of that to do too much footwork to come and for it not to be something that you were interested in conversing about. So, you know, we've done some prep thought, but to how many people on the committee, no.
Obviously, I know you can't speak for the school board in its entirety. Is your inclination that the school board's pretty eager to, I guess, move forward with this and trust this committee? The reason I ask is, school board meets, I think, still once a month. So it's a little more of a slow turn, whereas ours, we have at least 2 a month, and then sometimes we have special meetings that just, we click along a lot faster. So I didn't want that to be a stumbling block, because I know that had happened 2 years ago, where we were kind of moving at the pace. It was tough to balance that.
I would say that we have always wanted to very highly support the tennis teams. Before our contributor, you have to have money to do that, and we didn't. And so, yes, we've talked about it. We're very supportive of it. Obviously, depending on the question, some of this won't have to go back to the entire school board because we're not in it monetarily.
You know, you have to accept the gift. I know how that protocol works a little bit, but actually, you
sure,
wouldn't
I'm not
even be
even sure.
accepting the gift.
Actually, you all would be accepting the gift.
Cause that's the thing is because we
It doesn't even
can't.
come through
because
you.
Right.
Right.
You're right.
That's the point is that's why the school thing, cause we can't do that.
So then all the maintenance is ours, all the taking care of it's
Not-
ours.
we have-
That's not to
there's-
say there can't be further conversation
We
about
would-
what that looks like when it's
We'd like to get
done.
rid of the maintenance on it.
Well, we can have those conversations, and that's the thing where,
Well,
those conversations, Chad and Joy need to be having those conversations,
Yeah.
us not speaking for
Not
them.
that part. We
with
were
the
just
committee.
talking about getting ready for tennis meets, dumping the trash,
All that
cleaning the
stuff. That
courts,
ought to be
all the
you guys'
stuff that we
stuff.
are responsible for that we don't really have employees for.
And those can all be parts of the conversation. And when that, if and when that space gets to the point that it's completely finished, there's other conversations that can be had about what that looks
Well,
like.
we've
but
already
some
bought
of those conversations we're gonna want to have on the front side, I think, too. I mean,
Okay,
So-
so obviously you have to set up when y'all are gonna meet, but who's the point person? Pam, are you the point person?
I'd say me and Mr. Schrader.
okay.
So who's on it with you all?
Well, if we sport and rec, then it's
Sport and rec.
So then
Okay,
it's
so it
Parker,
is
Kyle, and
Sport and Rec?
Keith.
Parks and Rec, yeah.
Parks and Rec, you mean?
Parker,
Then you guys
Kyle,
can, I
and
guess,
Keith.
all sort it out. We can, 4 of us can theoretically be in the same meeting without trouble, so 3 should be just fine.
Yeah, we're good with that. Okay,
Thanks.
okay.
Okay, so we'll line up a meeting. I mean, another question I guess I would have is what kind of funds does the school have any funds to contribute towards this project? I mean,
Not right
say
at
if
the
it was a
moment.
third donation,
It's not our
third city,
property.
third school.
That's where you get into the whole fine line we've talked about, it's not our property to be
We
doing
can
that.
pay more rent.
We can
but
pay
it-
more rent, but we can't give money to something that's not ours.
So,
It's your property.
at some point down the line, when we get rid of QZAB and we get rid of some of our other big expenses, that's
How-
not to say
how
that we can't contribute
far-
more for maintenance and some of those
How
kinds
far
of
down the
things.
road is that?
Next year's our last year for QSAP.
Okay.
And I've probably been told this 20-odd years ago when the South Six were built, that was a split expense.
Yeah.
I would be curious to know what was the mechanism then the school utilized? I mean, I don't think the laws changed, but there must have been some mechanism utilized that allowed the school to
Rent.
pitch in.
No,
it
they
wasn't.
paid for half when they were
All
built.
Direct. I don't think it was even
Yeah,
in
they
kind.
built them. They helped build
I just don't
them.
know what changed, because that was
know
asked
if
the last time
anything's
it came around
changed.
too.
Other towns have said that they have done it, so.
So there's a way, but not saying again that that's what we
We've
wanna
checked
do.
with all of
It'd
the
just be nice
lawyers
to
at
know.
KSB, and we're not allowed to actually make a direct payment for construction on property that doesn't belong to us. So, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it maybe happened in a roundabout way somehow that
That's what I was gonna say. There
picks
was
up a
mechanism.
loophole or
Yeah.
something.
What, buy a corner?
Just a question.
We'll
You
sell it
guys-
for $1.
Are you interested in
You guys-
some, more property?
Don't have any place on school property to put it?
No, we won't sell anything.
Not really.
I'm not sure if we can sell the Park anyway.
Yeah. There's nothing at the elementary school and there's no space at the junior senior high.
Well, to answer your question too, just like Todd said, I mean, if we had space, we'd have a parking lot. And there's not a lot of space for that right now.
Okay.
So we'll, check with Kramer's to see when they might be available and can we work through
Yep.
you to
Yeah,
communicate with those
I
other three?
will call the committee. for
She'll
you.
contact the
Okay,
people.
thank
on
you
the
so
committee.
much.
Most of these guys won't be able to meet over lunch hour.
I'm sorry?
Most of these guys will not be able to meet over lunch hour.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
We can work
We'll
it out
figure it
at
out.
5:30 or later.
Okay,
We have them all the
Figure it out.
time. That's kind of what we
Yeah.
do. We have
yeah,
lunch duty, so lunch hour's hard for us too.
yeah, we're about dismantling the hurdles.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach, for the info.
Now, on the locomotive, my source from the railroad said they have trailers now, they can winch them on and take them
They
back
can,
off.
we had them here. They came and looked at it, the company
Really?
that does it.
I don't know. It's heavy, but my
Part is when it
understanding
goes
is
over the
it's,
road, they have
I
to
mean, you think of that thing being heavy, is that it's not as heavy as a modern diesel electric locomotive.
Right.
I mean, a lot of it's a giant tank, basically.
Yeah, and it's unwieldy and it's
Um,
mostly, rusted together and,
Yeah, I don't know if it'll roll on,
They
I
said
mean,
the
I'm
water
assuming all
and
the
the
bearings
tender
are seized.
The coal tender would come pretty easy. It was a locomotive that they were,
Yeah.
the main part.
Yeah.
I remember painting that thing years ago.
Probably got a couple thousand pounds of paint on it.
Probably.
And it used to be you could climb into it.
Yeah, a lot of the parks used to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. We don't have any notices and hearings, consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up, we have appropriations ordinance number 3766.
Move to approve appropriations ordinance 3766.
Second.
Okay, any discussion about anything on there? Roll call?
Fry,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Snelling, Bikeman,
Yes.
Karaki,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barron's,
Yes.
Thrum.
Yes.
Okay, 7.
I do think we need to control our spending just a little bit. I mean,
I'm not gonna argue with. First part of the year.
Yeah. Next up, staff reports. Austin had the financials in there. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Okay. If nothing on that. Next up, Kent.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Hello.
Evening.
I'm here to talk to you about a work truck for our department that's been budgeted for. And in the beginning, I was told that, because of the police vehicle, we couldn't get one from Nordis. So I left them out of it first, and I did 3 other places like the Premier, GMC and Beatrice, Nemaha Valley Motors and Honeyman. And then, when I found out that all were having trouble with the, government, discount stuff,
Yep.
I went ahead and got one from Nordis, but the low bid one was Premier GMC out of Beatrice.
fleet truck? Is it a fleet truck?
No, you just went to
No.
the site and
You
priced,
just
yeah.
built it on the site.
I went to the site and I built the trucks,
Carpeting and all.
and then I sent those to the dealers. And that's what they bid. The one, Premier said that they did some kind of I don't know what all paperwork's in your agenda, but
They took a $1,500 discount for a fleet off, is that what you mean?
yeah, they did something there.
For Chevy.
Fleet and the government discount, I guess, for Chevy was shut off in October of 2021 for 2022 vehicles. I don't understand all that, but I don't buy new vehicles for myself, so I don't. But I guess at this time, I would, if you're willing to do it, I'd like to see if you would get the one from Premier. It was a low bid.
Does that come with a box on the back?
Yes, I'm leaving a pickup bed on. That's why I'm getting these, I'm gonna show you these. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a regular pickup bed.
Okay.
Ken, I have
Yes.
one observation
Sir?
on your photos.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them show the rust on the truck. One shows the odometer reading.
I didn't take the pictures, I just put them in a deal, so.
I would suggest that at least wash the truck up before you take the pictures.
Why?
To
It's a
show
work
that it's
truck.
been maintained.
Well,
That's where
He's
most of the
trying to make it
rust
look as
comes
bad
from.
It looked like that the next day.
Well, at least,
Fine, we'll do that next time.
well, and maybe the ones that we're driving around right now too.
This was an ex-police
A
truck.
lot of them are.
I know, that's what I'm hinting at here.
A lot
is
of them
that
are.
This truck had a lot of miles on it, and I'm just gonna go out there right now and say I'm not in favor of other truck, so.
Well, I didn't figure you would be, Jeffrey.
Okay, thank you, Ken. I'm done.
Could you get any of these in aluminum frame?
What's that?
Could you get any of these in aluminum?
I don't know that, Keith. I don't know that for sure.
And Ford's
Ford's the only one that I think that
does
puts
bed
aluminum
or whatever, yeah.
side,
They'll save you some on rust.
oh yeah.
And even then, I'm not sure, is aluminum weighing half ton on Fords maybe?
I don't
I wanna
know.
say it's not.
That one I drive now is, that old police truck is aluminum.
Mm.
And when the wind blows hard, it almost scares you riding around in there. Sounds like it's buckling the sides on it, so.
I don't know about the 3/4 tons, but our new pickups we get out there, they're all aluminum frame, but they're half tons.
Well, I don't know about the frame, but I mean,
I mean,
I think Ford's was like the side panels and the hood and all that was aluminum, I think, but I don't know about the frame, to be right honest with you.
I don't know.
When I mean frame, I mean the box and
Okay,
the hood, the cab.
okay,
That's aluminum.
okay. I don't know that, Keith. I think Ford maybe, but I don't know about the rest of them. I know the last Dodge we got in 2019, the one we put the utility truck bed on.
Yeah.
That, is not aluminum, and the Chevy before that is not, so. The only one we got at our,
Something to check into, I mean,
What I found,
save the life of a vehicle. Aluminum is an answer to that.
well,
true,
I think we're gonna have a problem trying to get one anyway, but I mean,
yeah.
but they sound like they could still give them, cause he told me, he called me and goes, we're making an order, you want us to put one on here for you? I go, I can't make that decision, I have to go to council for that.
Yeah.
But they ordered some already, so obviously they can still get them, but.
What I found the most interesting looking at the that we spent $17,000 on it over the course of 10 years in repairs, but from 13 to 15, the first 2 years after we transferred it from the police department to your department, we spent almost $10,000 in repairs.
Yeah.
I mean, almost a third of the cost of a vehicle in just repairs the first 2 years.
A lot of, I mean, we get them, they have no warranty left on
No.
them. They've got over 100,000 miles, and I don't know, I mean, probably double that or triple that in idle time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, them engines, got a lot of hours on them.
I guess kind of the unknown there though is a repair truck.
Yeah, I don't know if that was
Half of the
an,
number you're showing,
I don't know if that was an engine or
I don't know what that is.
tranny, or, I mean, it'd have to be something.
Which, on the old one?
$6,300, yeah, that was spent back in 15.
They put an engine in it.
Okay.
We were out to the wells and, just lost all the oil pressure, shut her down, and it was, pretty well skunked.
Okay.
Right before we got it, they had to put a whole new front end in it, because I don't know who was driving it, but they shifted into, one of the police officers shifted into four-wheel drive a little too fast.
That would,
So,
that would do it.
that got taken care of under warranty.
Well, that's good at least. Okay, well, I mean, we've got 3 quotes. What's council's? Usually we go with the
He
lowest
is
bid.
authorized this year, correct, Cindy?
It was budgeted, I mean, it was put in there, yeah, it was in the 5-year plan, 10-year plan, whatever plan that is. Of course, we bought a sewer truck too. Yeah, it was.
And after we know what vehicle we're getting, then we can get a price on that, on the drawers.
I got
Get those
something here to
ordered.
show you if, but I wasn't gonna hand them out if there wasn't gonna be a truck, so it didn't matter.
Well, then I guess that's the first thing, is if somebody wanna make a motion.
Move to purchase a Chevy 2500 from, Premier GMC in the amount of $45,500 to replace truck 2568.
And send 2568 to surplus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Purple wave it or whatever he's doing with them now.
Wash it first, brainwash it first.
Wash it.
Fine, we'll wash it.
And baby, it's nothing
We'll even
else
take
spray.
that stupid City of Marysville sticker off. Okay, Jeffy? Come on.
Second.
Second. Okay, any further discussion?
I'd still like to see a price difference between your steel body and aluminum body. It could be cheaper or it could be more, I don't know.
I mean, the Ford might be aluminum, I don't know. Maybe that's why it's higher.
I don't know. I know when they went to those aluminum, it was I mean, people would talk about it, because some people were upset that the aluminum ain't as tough as metal, and other people were happy because it wouldn't rust.
They cost
But-
a little more to fix, I understand.
That could be, but I'm unaware if do you have 3/4 tons at work? Is that what you've got, or half?
We got half tons that aluminum bodies.
Okay.
Right, that's what I drive, is a half-ton Ford. Is it Ford, or what are they?
The only gripe got about it is you can't put a magnet strobe on it.
What's,
Oh, well, we,
what's the, what kind of truck is it?
What's that?
What brand?
They're all
They're Ford?
Ford half.
I think,
Yeah.
I don't know if do the other ones even do
I
aluminum?
think Ford half tons the only one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I think they only do it in half tons.
We had a motion to second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Alright.
What, 5-2?
Keith and Jeff.
Okay. Now, we can talk about that drawer system, I guess.
I got you a little better pictures than was in there.
What was in here?
Yeah. First time I seen them, it was Hanover Electric that I seen it, had it in the back of their truck. And I asked him about them, and he said that they're good, but he would recommend getting the rollers, because he had the Teflon sliding one, and when they get a little heavy, they're hard to pull out. Thing I didn't see until today when I was printing these out was, you can get It only takes 2-week build time, which I thought was pretty good compared to the last one, that big truck box we got on that last truck.
Right.
That took, did it take 14 weeks or something like that?
Oh, at least. It was a long time.
This just bolts to the floor in the pickup then?
Yes. They got those, I forget what they call them whale tail handles now, the ones that you turn or whatever. Is that what they're called, whale tail?
I don't know, my truck's got them, but.
But there's a picture of the roller system that the drawer sits on in there too.
How much is one of these, Ken?
Huh?
It was on $3,000.
It was right around, this one here was, I mean, they're customizable, so you can get it to do whatever size you want basically in there. So I just chose this I just chose this 72-inch one, length, and added, put, the dividers in it and stuff like that, and it was right at $3,000.
Free shipping, I think.
Yep,
They just, I assume they strap them to a pallet and ship
imagine.
them in from Maryland or wherever.
No, I mean, if it'll work for you, it's a lot cheaper than a utility box.
Well, I don't carry as many tools as the other guys do.
Yeah.
And I'm tall, but even looking in a toolbox on a 4-wheel drive for me is sometimes a little rough. So that's my belly getting in the way, right, Jeff?
So we just bought you a new truck?
No, you bought my department a new truck.
Oh, okay.
But I think maybe I should get to drive a new one once. The other guys get to, right?
All right, do you need a motion then?
For toolboxes?
I make a motion that we buy, what do you wanna call them, HD 72 truck bed toolbox?
Well,
What do you want, go ahead.
the price could be a little bit different. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it's gonna be. Do you want me to? I can get a maybe better.
Yeah, I mean, it's low enough Austin can actually approve it if council doesn't have a problem with it.
I mean, this is only 72, and the truck bed I think was 82.
And that's fine, I mean, I understand that you
You know
want
how
one
much
that fits
that'll
the truck
increase
bed,
it
I have
about?
no problem.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, and if I left it at 72, in front of that, I could set my cones and stuff in front of that, and they wouldn't be sticking up. Because this is gonna be, raise the rest of my tools, like my wrenches for the valves and meter wrenches and stuff like that, is gonna be up a little higher now.
Okay.
What if you get the truck bought first?
Yeah.
And then figure out exactly what you want, and if it's over what Austin can approve, then you come to the
That's fine
council
too, we can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he wanted me to have something here to kind of give you an idea what we were looking at.
Should be close to 3, you think?
Well, this one
A
is,
little bit over 3, yeah.
This
I can't
one's-
see it being much more than that.
I can't either, even if you add the rubber to it.
I mean, only maybe if I add the extra 10 inches into it and make the whole length, which I don't really need.
Yeah, it's, if Austin can't buy it, we'll just come back and we'll do it that way.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, yep, thanks, Ken.
Thank you very much. Do I call them tomorrow?
Yeah, or I can, whichever way.
Since you're already talking to them, tell them, I got permission.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah.
I won. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kent.
All right. Next up, we got the street department and the Bobcat planer.
He is not here, but what he did say was, they found out that the one only works for asphalt, so they would just like to buy the one all-purpose.
Yeah.
the only difference was how fast it worked, and he said, cause they never know what's underneath there. They don't know if it's brick when they get through the asphalt, or if it's concrete, and then they get to asphalt or brick. I mean, everything's a mess here, so.
Right.
They just wanted to get the all-purpose, because they thought that made the most sense.
Have we ever rented one before and tried it out?
You can rent one, it's gonna be about half the cost of the new one. County's rented one before. They're expensive to rent.
Yeah.
I think we had a offer on the table to borrow one from somebody,
Yeah.
and even if we replace the drum, it's cheaper than,
You know, the
buying
only-
something we're not gonna use.
The only problem when you
over time.
start borrowing things from companies, then something happens to it, then it becomes,
Okay.
I don't believe in borrowing.
I'm just saying, I've gotten where I don't loan my tools out to people because.
Have we had a need to hire somebody to use something like this for us?
We have. We have used it before.
If we
In a
have this,
bigger-
I think they'll use it we've got plenty of places where we have humps that need taken out.
We've cut
got-
out humps where we spent as much money as almost buying one of these.
Yeah, I
And
can
I'm
tell you,
like-
Jeff, this has come up every year, and Gary's put it off because something more pressing took its place.
Exactly.
But ever since I've been here, this has come up every year. And again, you can see that he's putting something off because he feels this is more of a need. And my only big change I wanna make to it is I wanna order an extra set of teeth for the smooth cut drum.
I thought they just said we can only do the one.
The
Yeah,
all-purpose,
if
yeah.
the all-purpose.
Well, for the
drum.
Yeah, the
all-purpose,
all-purpose,
yeah.
that's what.
Smooth cut all-purpose drum.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
I just wanted to order an extra set of teeth for it because I think he's gonna use it. And what I don't want to happen is the teeth wear out and then we're waiting on teeth.
We're caught in a supply chain disruption and we
Yeah,
can't use the dang thing.
I don't know if that would happen, I don't know if it wouldn't happen. I just know that if you have them on hand, then he also knows how long a set will last, so he'll have an idea of what, when to order the next one.
What that
I
is.
think, I think he'll use it, once we have it, I think he'll use it more than what we think he will.
Oh,
There's
I
a lot
agree.
of there's a ton of spots around town to use it.
I can think of 3 spots just on North Street alone. And it's frost heaves that they have up there, that have been there for a while.
I will tell you guys that if we switch skid steers from Bobcat to another brand, Gale will not fit Bobcat attachments.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but Case, New Holland,
Okay.
They all do, just Gale doesn't?
JCB will fit Bobcat.
Okay, so Gale's the only one that doesn't fit?
Cause Gale's the plates are a little bit wider.
Okay, that's good to know.
I've operated one of these when I was a heavy machine operator for the city, and I would say that there are multiple applications for it. Drainage, if there's water pooling, you can drain it at a fine level. I do know Parker makes a good point about just the ability to change teeth because you don't know what you're getting into sometimes, and they will, if they're a little bit worn, have a tendency to snap off or break or wear down pretty quickly. But yeah, they can be good to have extras of those on hand.
Okay. Well, I mean, can we approve buying, we don't have a price on the teeth.
No?
Yeah, you do.
Is there a price in there somewhere?
Yeah, I believe page 124. So basically a full set of teeth for the fast cut is $782.61 and smooth cut is $1702.52.
Okay.
But you're wanting to see just a smooth cut?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least at first, I mean, unless they find
Yeah,
they
at least it-
really have a need for it.
Because the smooth cut can do everything, it may be a little slower on asphalt. And I
Yeah.
guess we do enough asphalt work and we can justify it next year, maybe we look at the asphalt drum. But I think the smooth cut will cover everything for right now.
Should.
I keep calling it smooth cut, and it should be the smooth cut all-purpose drum.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
We're looking at 1702.52 and
14.
521.32 and
Five.
5,000.
Yep.
209. And for the grand total?
I don't know, I have to get my,
I was just asking.
I didn't add it up.
All right. She'll have it here in just a second.
$21,644.05. Let me do it.
Now's our shipping, that's gonna be added on there too.
I don't see anything.
Prices plus
It
shipping
says
and material.
prices plus shipping
So I would
material,
say
but
it
I don't
would
see a
be
shipping on
included.
here. Well,
Unless you go to page 126, and it says other charges, material and logistics, 2921. Freight charges, I don't know where to come up with freight charges.
It looks like 487, but it looks like it's in.
oh yeah, yeah, that is 487.
That would have to be added to boot.
What's the
Wait,
29?
but the total,
How about we do the 27,287.01 minus
Minus the,
fast cut drum?
right, minus
Yeah, minus
the
the fast
38,
cut.
yep,
Then that-
38, 55,
yeah,
48.
subtract
We add the,
3855 and add the,
1702 for
Okay, so what do you want me
Following
to
us all.
minus?
Minus, 38, 55, 48,
mm-hmm,
but then add on
17,
1702.
1702.52.
And that should get it with
About
freight.
23.5, is that what you're coming up with?
23,400 plus 1702 point, is it 1702?
52.
25,135.05. 134.05, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I don't know if that would, I don't know if that would reduce our freight charges. I mean, if we're ordering one less drum, you'd think that that would also reduce the freight charges and,
Yeah,
but teeth
fine
shouldn't
teeth.
be nearly what a drum would be to ship, I wouldn't think.
That would probably be the max.
Yeah.
What's included in materials and logistics?
No idea. Yeah, I mean,
They always add that on. I don't care what part you buy.
Down to get it.
No, they always put freight on stuff, no matter even, all the time, always.
Well, it's not gonna exactly be a small implement, it's gonna be heavy, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's Keith's share. It's his bonus.
I think the 25,134.05 covers it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's a little bit less freight, then maybe it'll be slightly
Yeah,
lower
maybe I'll
than
get a
that.
little less, but.
Okay.
All right, I make a motion to buy a 24-inch planer with the high flow, with the operator training kit, the 24-inch smooth cut all-purpose drum, and an extra set of teeth for the all-purpose smooth cut drum for 25,134.05.
Okay, is that a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? Okay. 511.
511. Just Snowblade.
Snowblade. Which we got some prices on the whatever you call them, V-blade, whatever you call them. Yeah, I mean, Gary said he'll be fine with either one that we, council decides to approve. I think they thought they probably would the V-blade, I think that they're gonna find places, I think, where they could use that V-blade. It came in a little bit lower than what he thought, I think it's $1,000 more that what
Right,
it
there's
was
just-
roughly?
Like,
For
yeah,
the V-
about $1,000.
Yeah, for the V-blade.
His one
versus
question
the
was,
other
he didn't know where it flexes and stuff, if it would be break easier there, I mean, he's always worried about breaking stuff, and because it
I don't
moves,
know.
moves when you wanna change it, and he said, well, surely it'll have a
Either
grease.
got 2 big springs or 4 big springs
Okay.
instead of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that was his only concern to me today, he said, I don't know, he said, yeah, we'll give it a try, whatever they wanna do. We just wanna make
You
sure
see
that
more
it
and more
doesn't
guys using them,
have
and you'd think it
more,
would be
Well, they gotta be on
Makes
some kind of
those
shock. or
snows
something.
they push.
you would think.
And actually, the Western and the Boss are the two big popular ones up north where they get real snow.
Where they get, yeah.
Real snow.
Yeah, where they push snow, 4 months out of the year.
Into
Like
the
just
river
as a-
so that you've
Real
got
snow
room to
as
pile more.
opposed to not real snow.
No snow.
Yeah.
I've
just been thankful we haven't had much.
I'd like to see them try the V-blade. I really would. I think there's certain places that I think it would help them.
I was pretty excited because we keep knocking mirrors off with what we got now on Main Street.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is this isn't to be wide, the one they got now isn't as wide as the truck, so. you-
Right.
Knocking
Yeah.
mirrors off the truck.
I would like them to have the LED headlights on it. And, I think you need to put the rubber snow deflector across the top, and I also think you need to put the high wear shoes on it. Because the shoes are what's gonna save that blade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's what
sure.
keeps it out of the mold board.
They do put new shoes on a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they know they do that.
Well, these are running a little bit better steel than these, if I remember right, because they're running, yeah, they're running the AR 400 material. I, looked through, I don't see that in what the guy
Well, the
gave him
lights
for
are
a
on.
bid.
Well, the lights are halogens that they've got in the quote.
I just know this is where he gets his snowshoes from, for the bigger stuff too, so I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
Halogen is what they have for the lights.
So
Maybe
maybe
we'd have to
see
upgrade.
that
What
would-
cost to
what it
upgrade the
costs
lights?
and
Yeah, the
compare
lights
it.
and the rubber snow deflector.
Just saves you from eating all that snow.
Well, yeah, that would be nice, probably.
Do you wanna give him a limit that if it's not over a certain amount, go ahead and do that? Or you wanna wait and come back with the price before you approve it?
How long did he think it was gonna be till he could get it in anyway? I can't remember.
Once
I
or
can't
3
remember if he
weeks or
said.
something, didn't it?
I mean, I'm just thinking, I don't know how much more, I mean, if it's gonna be a month, by then we're out of snow season, it's not like we're gonna hurry to get it ordered.
I think we're out of snow season now.
Well, yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, I think there's one left, but,
Yeah.
it don't matter. I don't think the LED headlights and the rubber piece are gonna be much more than
And you called that a rubber what? Tell me again, Parker.
rubber snow deflector is what it's
Rubber
called.
snow deflector.
Is it this thing right here?
It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's in that one picture, I
Yeah.
think.
That's all I know to tell him what.
This
See,
thing?
if you don't have it, that's what your blade will look like. And what
Yeah.
it does is it allows it to roll up onto
Right.
the windshield and
Okay,
lose your visibility.
This is the,
okay.
Cindy, right here, this is the snow reflector.
It's on the boss, it's
All right.
on-
Yeah,
I don't care. I mean,
it looks the same.
Should we see what the difference is on that?
I can't imagine it being over a couple $100. I might be completely wrong too.
I don't have any idea. No
I
idea.
don't know, LEDs are expensive.
They are, they
Yeah,
are.
$500 a pop for a headlight, I can tell you that right now from the truck shop. 5 to 6 just for one headlight.
I don't think we're in a big hurry. I say get it all put together.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's even gonna get it for this snow, even if we ordered it tomorrow, I don't think he's gonna use it this year. No.
Doubt it.
You're all jinxing us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, aren't they?
So by Friday night, we will all be snowed in and it's going to be somebody else's fault.
Okay.
You are.
Wouldn't bother me a bit if it snowed a lot.
It would bother me.
Okay. Next up, standing committee reports. Anybody? On that, we're gonna get the price with, the LED headlamps, the snow diverters and the sweat skid plates, or was that the other thing?
High wear shoes.
There you go, high wear shoes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, standing committee reports. Anybody have anything on the street?
Yes, I do.
Yes, Kevin.
An alley up here, Alston, between 10th and 11th.
Okay.
I was contacted at she found me up at the Sun's Feed and wanted me to drive down, and it's pretty nasty. There's some holes in it like that, so we need to get some rock, or it's an asphalt alley. I mean, I know, but we need to do something in it, because it's pretty nasty. And I don't know if rock's ever gonna hold in it, Cindy. It's pretty steep.
It's pretty steep, as I was just there a couple weeks ago, and if that's what I'm thinking of.
And also in Calhoun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
trash truck runs that alley too, right?
Yeah, it does.
Tearing it up.
I don't know who's tearing it up, not me.
In that mood tonight, aren't you?
Okay. Anything else on the street?
Yeah, the gutters over by the Boy Scout cabin, they're starting to fill up with dirt, sand, buildup, and it's,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
water
we
goes around it.
Yeah, we need to clean the gutter. Okay.
I don't know how often the street cleaner goes out, and how often does the street
Well,
cleaner?
some of that they have to do with the shovel, they, you know, like when they do catch basins and stuff, so I'll ask Gary which way. Okay.
Okay. Anything else on the street? Water, wastewater? Got our CDBG funding. Kent and I drove up last week to Topeka to pick up our big check. So, that's good news though.
Take a picture with Elaine Bowers and.
Yeah, that's nice to meet all them, and, well, I met some of them before.
Kent was back here saying they're the governor.
Yeah, yeah. We found out, I think we both need to buy suits.
Yeah, just a tie. Oh,
We were underdressed,
Kent would
definitely.
look great with a tie on that. with
I
his
know,
bibs.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's good news. I mean, we got some grant money for that lagoon project, so that's a good thing. That's all I had for, water, wastewater. Nobody has anything else? Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport?
I do wanna say that they have all the boards painted for the fence, and the poles should be here shortly, so hopefully we can get started at Feldfield Fence. So volunteers and a lot of employees jumped up and got that done, got them painted, so that was awesome. That's almost, it was over 1,100 boards.
A lot of boards.
That was a lot of
A lot of
boards,
boards.
and they had to paint them like 3 times, so it looked really bad, so that's awesome.
I think J.C. Paschal wants to set up time with a committee to look at the ball fields. She hasn't called in yet, but.
Okay.
No, 'cause I asked if she was gonna come to the meeting, and she said they had something else tonight. Okay, to look at the fields.
Yeah, I guess if she wants to get, yeah. I mean, if that's all right with council.
It
I'd
really
say
needs some ag line on them.
I know it does. I went down there and looked at a couple of them last week, and they're in need of some repairs.
And I'm still waiting to do their inventory. I've asked, 'cause we need to go get their inventory done, so, as soon as she's ready.
Okay. Anything else in Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport? Yes.
We will be sending out the, hangar leases, you know, to all the people, telling the ones, we'll have to check to make sure if they have planes or not, because that was the stipulation of the person that donated the money, and we will be sending out all those leases. You'll still get a lease to sign. It'll say it's just already been paid for that, so we know when you look at the airport fund, it's gonna look like it has money in it, but it's got 3 years of rent in it, so that's why there's quite a bit of money in that revolving fund already, so you remember that that is there, just that, so it's all in that number, so.
You got any bids in for the, put up the hay?
Those bids are due, yes, so that, the bids to do the hay and do the crop, that's all cash rent at the airport. Those are bid separately, they come sealed bid, they're due the 23rd, which is next Wednesday by noon, in an envelope separately, and then the bid to mow the levee. Those are all coming at the same time, and you guys will see them at the 20, whatever, the last meeting in February is, 28th.
Okay.
They'll all come, so you'll see those come. We've had some interest, and we do have it on our website that you can click it and actually see the fields or see the, you know, what they were.
You know roughly how many acres of hay is actually?
62 acres of hay, 47 acres of crop ground, I think it is. And the hay, you hay it, and it has to be off in like 3 days. Can't sit up there, it can't be stored there. So yeah, but that's, and I think that's the right split. It's 62 and 47, or 67 and 42. I don't remember exactly. So, yep. And it is cash rent for a 3-year period. So, whatever, we'll have it for 3 years.
Okay. Anything else on Cemetery Airport?
I haven't been out there, but the pictures sure look nice from the sign for the flags and.
The veterans deal.
The veterans deal, yeah, they say it's pretty awesome.
It is.
Right, anything on police and fire? Admin and finance? There are no appointments. The city attorney is not here. Do we need an executive session for any reason?
I would like one.
Okay. Do I have a second? Well, that's right, yes.
First.
Yeah.
I move the city council recess into executive session, discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel, discussion on specific personnel matters, not general personal policies, exception KSA 75-4319B1. This session will include mayor, city council members. Oh, he ain't here, so he ain't going. And
How long?
back at 9:05.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 7-0.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
we
see you
gotta
in a
go
bit.
because this is.
Some days no, some days yes.
Key. You got a key, Cindy?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I guess I should let you. Oops, that's my car key. It's that one. Oh, my. The cameras are still on. I don't have to put them on.
I wondered if I could get a copy of them from DG. Did they say what committee was the effective in? Is it intact?
No, what did, let me see if I have that written down. I think it's already out of one committee and into the next.
In the Senate or the House?
It was in the Senate and now it's back to the House. Am I right? Sorry.
Senate.
I wrote it down, let's see.
I hadn't heard that, I'll go over and look
That's what they were saying, and that was the meeting on Friday already. They were putting those two together. I couldn't believe that, and then they would take all the sales tax off commercial. Well, that's not a great big deal if you have a little store downtown, but it's a great big deal. Our life for that. And you're shipping thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and lights are on, and people are there. They were attaching it, the sales tax on food is $3.39, and that $3.59 is the sales tax on utilities, and they link them together. So if one goes, the other goes. And they went from 550 million that it would cost, because it was gonna be groceries. Now that they're taking restaurants off too, it goes to 700 million. There's just no way, you know what that's gonna do.
Well, they're just trying to make her look bad.
It's just gonna get that. And like I said, it's not a guarantee that they'll keep us, and any new one that they pass, it definitely won't. So what they said is you really gotta watch anything at sunset. Because if it sunsets when you pass it again.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So, yeah, our pool,
Oh, they're on the roof.
yeah, I don't know how long, I don't know if our 1% checks, we have 1% in the city that's supposed to go for streets and that kind of stuff. And I do not know if that one sunsets, but the pool does sunset.
Okay, but is the pool paid for?
It will be, but only because we paid it off early.
Okay.
I mean, it isn't to sunset for another 10 years.
Okay.
But we
Because we
had
paid
money in the sales tax fund, so we used that to pay it off early to save a bunch of interest. We're supposed to be, the whole point of that was to build up a fund to be able to pay for all the repairs and all the stuff to run the pool down for the next 10 years. That's what that money is supposed to be for. Because that is huge. Oh, at the pool, we lose $100,000 a year on that pool. That's just maintenance. I mean, just paying the lifeguard and all the rest. It just.
council would, I think they really need to talk about that $100,000. I mean, surely there's some things that can be done on the pool that would help with that.
We have heat. It costs the heat and the electricity to move the water costs $4 grand. Oh, man. And then,
Is the heat on every day?
maintains it at a certain temperature. I mean, if it's hot outside, then no. I mean, you know, because it's just like your furnace. But the bottom line is, it's cold overnight, it's cold in the morning, of that is, the way they built the pool, we have to have 8 lifeguards minimum on duty. That doesn't include the people in the office who used to run it before. They didn't, that was the selling point when we did it, but, because that's why they didn't have the sunset right away when we put it off, but they just want to steal it and have that heat or something, in the rack, which, but he was just, no way, it's not gonna work.
I think that if you have a two, you know, like when it's in May or June.
They know the process, they know, and what they don't care about it. But you don't get the lights together, you know, and the schools and schools are very bad. The tennis courts are very bad. They've always used those for that one, and
I think, you know, if they're current rates, they continue to get the rent.
what?
I mean, what choice? I don't know. There's so much about that, I don't know, but
It makes no sense. It, in other cities do that, I know they do. I know there's a way, if they want to. You form a,
I mean, there has to be a way. I don't know. I know that I need to go back and read from way back, but this has been going on. There were problems with those courts for years. I mean, this has been going on.
right.
Where they
Well,
just
they used to, they used to, flood them,
yeah,
and then you ice skated on them.
yeah.
But see, it was when we added the back ones that we got in trouble. It's those back 3.
Okay.
It's cold in here all of a sudden. Maybe the heat turned itself off.
No, I thought it was warm when we.
When we first came in, it was nice, but man,
Well, it may be colder outside too.
well, that could be. But they said it's supposed to be nice days.
So did they have a boy or a girl?
What'd you say? He wanted his little boy to come see the baby first, so we don't know. We don't know, we just know it's a baby, and it's healthy.
Well, that's pretty important.
Yep. Sandy's having a boy. Yeah. She's having a boy. The deputy. She's, I think her baby's due in May. She's so little, so she's really starting to get a big old belly.
I was doing the yesteryear column, and this was in 1947. Cohort had their second set of twins, and one of them was 814, and the other one was 714.
Good heavens.
I mean, yeah. I just thought, oh my goodness,
Whoa.
that made me hurt. Just reading about it, but they had another set of twins, and then another child, so it would be 5 altogether.
Good heavens. Which cohort was that?
Wilbur? No.
Yeah, there is a Wilford cohort.
One of the
No,
twins'
that's a
names
Wasserberg
was
Wilford Washington.
Jean, and what was the other one? I don't remember. But golly gee, well, I have that file.
I know that my neighbor, they had 4 kids, and was expecting again, and the last one was 2 girls, and they both weighed like 7 pounds. No, yeah, right at 7, and she's 5 foot. Yeah, they were full term. Yeah, she milked cows every day up to the end. I can't even.
Like a dozen years, it's gonna be awful. Yeah, you gotta do it, there it is. That's the only thing about these chairs, when they're up so high, they don't go underneath the
Yeah,
table.
when they get under the arms or whatever they do.
You hand that back to Cindy, please.
Oh, it just does, but.
Oh, you mean back here?
Yeah, I haven't
left the
figured
door
out.
open, Cindy.
Maybe it's the,
I left the door shut.
I don't know how to turn it on.
It's right
Okay.
here, it goes in and out.
Oh, in and out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think if you plop them just right there, it's in.
well, and somebody new sits in it, because they use them at court.
The lights are still on back here,
Okay, all right.
just to let you know.
So, that'd be good if I shut them off.
One more minute.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
40 seconds.
Lori must have had to serve food to the last minute, huh?
Yeah, I scored, I'm not sure.
She said if it wasn't, she'd come if they weren't crazy busy, but I'm sure they were. Good. There you go.
Okay. Call this meeting back to order. No binding decisions were made. Continue with the regular meeting. Roundtable. Todd?
Been on the council a couple years, but I think this is the first time we've had a meeting on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
Okay. Keith? Kyle?
As
So next Thursday I will be a father, so.
There you go.
Very excited.
Cool.
Next Thursday?
skip another meeting.
They got,
Nope. Oh, no, that's the 24th. He has plenty of days to get back.
I'll be back. And I did not skip, I had COVID.
No, we.
I'd have been here,
So
actually.
do you know what you're having?
Little boy.
Oh, cool.
So we're excited. That's all I have.
Colleen? Kevin?
no, I have nothing tonight, sir.
I don't think I have anything. I think we have a congratulations too in the,
Yes,
don't we?
yes. Austin and Michaelin have a baby, but we don't know what it is.
There you go.
So that we do know.
Last night?
Yeah, he texted me last night at about 6:45, so.
Yep. So congratulations to.
Yeah, I do want to say that I talked to Pat Bruna. We still don't have anybody do the fireworks, but he's gonna see if he can find somebody yet, so just to keep you updated on that. We still don't have, anybody. But he said maybe the group he works with out of Kansas City, he didn't know, he would see.
That's all we can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Motion adjourned?
Move to adjourn.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
9:06.
7-0.
Okay.
Leading the witness.
Yeah.
Did really good, people. No, I have to hit stop on here.
Nobody ate any snacks.
Hey, Colleen, come here, 'cause I,
Leave them here. Kevin's just not eating them because he said he had to do it next.
ah!
What's that? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's right, did you bring snacks?
Yeah, there's a lunch back here.
Crackers.
How did I miss on that?
Crackers and everything back here, Chase, and cookies.
So Cindy, have you joined the gym yet?
You don't want surprises.
I told this thing to stop, but it doesn't look like it
Yeah,
stopped.
I know.
Yeah, I hope so.
No, I know, but, and I figured at some point, possibly, that would be, but I would.
This is a setup, but I can still see myself, and I told it to stop all,
I would say,
but it's not.
can you just disconnect up here?
I'll just turn it off.
I did find out that their contribution is, 0.
Or,
Oh, yeah, that was
here, I'm gonna do this.
There, I just turned the projector off, I think. Yeah, because we're not moving anymore.
Yeah.
There. Yay. I just don't know why all the money is there, sure.
I'm on it.
Thank God, because I know what I was doing.
Oh! I don't know.
You push something.
I did.
I did.
I just pushed the off, so it's going up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, oh, my water bottle. Hopefully I get to go get my car tomorrow or the next day.
Where's it at?
It's told me last Wednesday morning, your engine has incurred a serious problem. On my Uvo.
That comes up on there?
Huh?
Really?
See, that's a Kia, right? See, and I think I saw somewhere just a couple days ago, Kia was like the #1 rated for like customer satisfaction and problems or something, reliability. When I saw that, I thought of you.
And I didn't get a new
But yours is
engine.
how many years old?
2016.
Uh-huh.
But it's got 97,000 miles on it.
Okay.
But
All right.
my
Wednesday's kinda busy, 'cause
engine
I have a feeling Wednesday
is
we're moving a bunch of
supposedly
equipment.
have up to 999,000 because I know there's
Because we
an
officially
issue
own
with
that
them.
now, correct?
But
officially own
they
the
told
fire
me,
station.
the tech wasn't there, but they told me I had 5 codes, they cleared the codes, and I said, what were the codes and how much do I owe? Well, the tech's not here
Oh,
today,
yeah.
he'll be there tomorrow,
Yeah,
and
I already
Where's-
got the insurance
where you
set
gotta
up
go?
a week and a half
I
ago.
figured.
I called Omaha, they didn't call me back till
I
20
got the
till
answer.
7 the next morning, and I'd already
How
called
much is
Lincoln and
Lease plan on
talked to them, and they
contributing?
said,
Sounds
don't
like
drive it,
zero. None.
have it towed.
And-
Luckily, we have AAA Premier.
No, we'll ask her like, we'll be talking a third, well, we don't have any.
What they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
They towed it to Omaha.
We'll
to
figure
Lincoln.
that out after the building.
I didn't know where.
Well,
We
because
put money
Because
for.
I was
Why would I
hoping
hear
I
the other
could
thing?
drive it there, then just get a
We're gonna build it
rental
without
car
working on
and get
it, he's got
home.
things-
But since she said don't drive it, have it towed, so I just had them tow it to Lincoln and, so I got somebody that'll take me up there and get it.
Well, no, not what we.
there on Friday.
Yeah, that'd been great, but
I'm going through on Friday, I'm going to Omaha, we'll be through there.
It is?
Probably just short-
Okay, Colleen, our video's still going.
it is?
How can it be going? I thought we disconnected.
Who's that?
It's Tom, he was watching it.
Oh. I stopped, on Facebook or?
On Facebook or YouTube? Now is it off? Oh, to look at it. Okay, all right, okay.
Oh, on his
All right.
phone? Let me see.
Okay. All right, he has to get off to do it.
On Facebook?
I just got rid of that mini pearl or whatever.
Still up.
Oh, Jada. Yeah, it's showing us, it's on Facebook, it's still up.
How can it be there's nothing on here?
Well, you might have to open the program back up and then
Yeah,
close it in the program.
yeah. Here, let me see.
It could be the,
Good idea, if I knew what the password was.
Yeah, your sheet there said it. It said,
That's the password, but I don't know what the,
I thought it said someplace here.
and that's about this thing.
So, oh, here, maybe if we take this off,
Oh, sure.
but I don't know.
Well, but it's still, I would,
Let's do this. Is this where? Q system viewer, yep. Well, just power cord hook up here, let me see if it's still.
but the power cord is still, I was gonna say, cause it gets the same.
Yep, we're still,
Yeah. No, that was from before.
yeah, this is now.
Yeah. So how
So-
can that still be?
Oh, there.
Every time I hit stop all, it wouldn't stop. And I don't get that.
I know.
Now it's opening a new link.
Well, I tried status.
That's craziness.
So stream 4 is,
Hit the stream 3 is Facebook, which is the one we've been trying to delete the stream.
no,
I don't think you want to do that either.
no, I don't. I don't want, why is it
What?
so-
I don't want to delete it.
No. How do we do it? Where did I find that?
Was it?
There.
Mm-hmm. I just can't figure out why it won't shut off when you hit stop.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Do you know the password and everything for the computer?
Yeah.
For the whole, oh, okay. So let's restart the computer and see if that has any effect on it.
Because if not, we can go shut this off on the, this is the cameras and the video routing and all of that. Well, here's the recording stream,
Yeah.
which is there.
So I
And
would
this-
say hit